Hello, Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising. This is your Tarot Astro Report for the month of July 2025. I'm making a concerted effort to add more tarot into my posts. The month is starting out with your ruling planet conjoining Venus at the end degrees of Taurus, which may have jump started your life in some way, given you some good news about finances, liberating you potentially and ending a long struggle or journey because it's at the end degree, which is sort of ending the cycle of Uranus in your house of Taurus, which we'll pull the chart on, which offhand I'm not knowing what house that's in, but we may as well open up the chart and look and see. So your ruling planet has been in the sign in your fourth house. Wow. So there could be a sudden ending of a relationship because this is a positive energy. So if a relationship ends, it's the right thing. It liberates you, you're free, and it potentially enables you to move, or you suddenly sell a property. You suddenly move properties, you suddenly relocate, most likely because of some good news about money or good news about a relationship. Um, so that's a really nice transit, and it's sextiling Saturn in your third house, which would indicate that this transit opens up the flow to your new life that's about to initiate with that Saturn in Aries, because your ruling planet is Saturn. Your other ruling planet is Saturn, and that is about to go retrograde in your third house, which is media projects from the past, communication or writing projects or blogs, or a small business. We're about to have Uranus move into your fifth house, which I'm not going to do quite yet because I do have an order here to follow. I start jumping around. That's very Uranian of me to do that. I do have an Aquarius Saturn. So your ruling planet is about to go retrograde, conjoining Neptune, which wraps up a 35-year cycle, which we of karma clearing, which is just now that would be in your third house. So there would be something involving your life where perhaps you get into conflicts because Aries and perhaps more combative, but there is some sort of clearing of or just ways of communicating, just clearing karma through communication because um Saturn, where is your Capricorn house actually? Oh, in your 12th house. Yeah. So you would have been clearing up a past life karma involving communication, or opinions or attitudes. Let's pull cards on that. So your ruling planet going retrograde in the third house, sextiling Pluto in your first, which all indicates, because with Pluto in your first house, you're really stepping into your personal, authentic power, your sovereignty, your power. You're going to be a completely transformed person by the time Pluto exits your house in about 18, your first house in about 18 years. So this is a slow transit, but you will be a different person, no doubt about it. And then with that Uranus transiting into your fifth house, we're looking at either relationships, creative projects, entrepreneurial ventures, a creative writing project, sextiling that retrograde Saturn, or just Saturn anyway. But then when it goes in retrograde, it's very likely either a relationship from the past or a project from the past connecting you to some sort of venture, media project of some sort, writing, film making, filming. Remember, Aquarians tend to be, I get the 10 of Pentacles. Aquarians tend to be the humanitarian, and they tend to have humanitarian missions. And so I would consider that with that Saturn in retrograde in the house, we've got Uranus coming into the entrepreneurial house, and we have Saturn retrograde into a small business, operating your own venture, your own business, autonomous, really stepping into your soul contract. But also, there could be some really good financial liberation around property and real estate, just so you know, with that beautiful sextile there that enables you to have funding to a project there. Um, so we do get that Knight of Pentacles coming in. Saturn is definitely a Knight of Pentacles energy. It's sort of slow going. It's coming. It's actually not moving right now because it's about to go retrograde. So where projects and communication issues, wow, my communication suddenly felt really constricted. So we're getting some a chances to communicate better around issues from the past, or before Aquarians can go forward in some way, they're gonna learn some kind of communication. When Saturn goes retrograde, we're correcting, we're reflecting, we're redeeming, and it's your ruling planet, so it's going to have a very powerful impact. So you're either going to communicate with someone from the past and redeem a past karmic entanglement and forgive and create a better open lines of communication with your relationships as well in general, because the karma that's been clearing that you now have to clear in the experience. You may have had to clear this through separating, but now you're going to have these opportunities are going to come in with that beautiful top of a kite to your Saturn in retrograde, projects from the past, media projects, communication, writing projects, perhaps theatrical performing or anything um, media mostly, because you've got Gemini over your fifth and Uranus is about to go there, and that's relationships too. So liberating you through a creative project, financially liberation through creative projects, most likely involving a soul contracted divine partner. And you've got that Pluto in your first house giving you the courage and the strength and the confidence, and you're getting your power back through this because it's making a nice sextile to that Pluto. So it's like you're stepping out on your own 2 feet. You're really feeling very confident and brave to do it. But now with the Saturn in retrograde, you're going to get involved with people most likely from the past, or a project from the past that you didn't have enough skills for. Perhaps Saturn in your third, you might be really having to refine some kind of writing skill or media skills. You may have to really redo your website and you may have to start selling and advertising your project. Um, so we do get the Five of Swords, which does indicate returning from pulling away from something else and back to something more lucrative, and that would involve the fourth house. So this would have been a project that may have been worked hard on that did not that seemed to have not worked out. So this could also be a relationship ending for some. But this is sort of clearing off. It's sort of like leaving a situation because of a house sale. That's what that kind of says. I did see the Lovers card too, Chariot going forward. There's your Jupiter in. So yeah, that's like your soul contract. That's Jupiter in Cancer and the sun there currently for up until the 20th of this month. So there's some sort of, there you go. That's the house of service. Jupiter rules where's your Sagittarius house? Oh, your 11th house. Jupiter rules your 11th house, and that is the house of Aquarius. And Pisces, you have the North Node there in your second house where you're really stepping into some sort of new, this is going to be a year now. This is all going to unfold within a year. The Jupiter in your sixth of high service with the North Node in your second house and it's causing a new, and it's right now as I'm speaking, it's making a nice sextile to the nodes and Mars, or trying to the nodes is trining the moon, sextiling Mars, which is a nice sign for this new, see, I keep getting the Knight of Pentacles, some very stable, slow going project that's going to bring you long-term security and financial stability. And let's hear a little bit more about that. We get the Lovers and the Sun and a project. So I would say that this is a project involving a partner. It can be a business partner that liberates you, and it could indicate Leo. So now let's go into the Leo energies. So the Leo energies are starting. So first we got to talk about, we talked about Uranus going into Gemini, where you're going to be financially liberated through creative endeavor projects, collaborative projects, writing project, media projects, most likely a relationship coming in, changing your lives, lots of new friends. And plus Jupiter rules your 11th house of media, and Jupiter is in exaltation, blessing that 11th house. So you could have some really lucky wins and gains, word of mouth clients coming to you, but also really good success on social media and advertising with that with that Saturn in your third house, or selling or taking initiative to come forward and lead through media, and and your project, whatever it is here that's about to begin, is a 29-year cycle. It's going to involve your divine partner, where you're going to re-explore your communication skills and your attitude in your relationships and in projects. And then things are going to really soar and go forward, especially in 5 months' time when Saturn starts to go direct again, where you've got a chance to correct something, or go back to a project from the past, or go back to a skill from the past and develop it and make it mature again, remature it, detoxify it. When Saturn goes retrograde, we clear up the messes that we cause, because Saturn is the results of our deeds. So in retrograde, we get to correct the results that we don't like, by changing the way we do things. That's your ruling planet. So that's going to be a big one. So we got that full moon coming into your 12th house, which means you have some sort of big revelation about a past life, self-sabotaging tendencies that you have. It's probably that you don't feel high self-esteem enough for some kind of a mission or your dream job or what you really want to do here, because the North Node in your second house is going to challenge your self-worth. And then this full moon is a karmic ending of a big karmic wrap up, where you see, because Saturn's about to go retrograde back into that Pisces energy, where you're going to revisit some old cycle and old patterns that cause results you don't want, and you have clarity around that, and you change it, and you have victory over it. So this is all really good, but there's going to be some insight, or maybe even re-experiencing a karmic cycle that you have, and you have a choice now to either have an attitude about the person or the situation, or to communicate properly and not create distance, something like that. This is another chance to really redefine your skills that you've learned, or to practice what you've learned in these areas. Could be a tough full moon, could get triggery, but not for long. I think you're going to see everyone seeing their patterns and changing them right when the trigger shows up. Because I work with people who are going through these, and I just say, I think it's just you being triggered. I don't think the issue that you're being triggered around is necessarily what it seems, because we've got Neptune there. So if you get triggered right now, it's most likely not what it seems. It's just an old reaction to the old patterns but if you stop and look carefully at this new situation, you'll see that the negative things that were there in the past may not be here now, but we're just reacting to it because it looks like it, so we just think it is. It's confusing, I know. Feel free to ask questions. All right, so your ruling planet goes retrograde. We got that on that full moon. Well, your ruling planet goes retrograde on the 13th. The full moon is on the 10th. Let's pull a card for full moon on the 10th for Aquarius. Ace of Wands. Wow. Ace of Wands. There's that Knight of Pentacles again. Wow. We really keep getting that Knight of Pentacles for you guys. Tower. That's that Uranus coming into your fifth house. So we get inspiration over a project that you're ready to really devote to and put some hard work into it. Most likely media writing project that you're returning to from the past with a lot of inspired vigor. You know it's what you want to do. And then the Aries card popped out. We do get that Tower card. And that's going to be, and there's the Magician, where you have power now to do this, and it's going to change your life. Is that Tower? Let's get a clarity on the Tower. The Tower, work, divine mission, boom, spiritual mission. You're suddenly changing, going on an adventure. You find it very inspiring. We get the Three of Pentacles. There's your soul mission. It's creative. It's the fifth house. That's exciting for Aquarius. I'm excited for you. Now, if you're single, there's a good chance this is a romantic relationship coming in that you're co-collaborating with, or you're married, it's your partner, you're doing current partner, or it can also be collaborative ventures involving friends and colleagues. Like if you're a musician, it can involve other musical partners. Okay, so then we've got that. We're going to have Mercury in retrograde. See this for those of you who are single, you're going to have a relationship coming in from the past, communication from somebody from the past. because Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Leo right on that, right? 2 days, that's on the 18th. And then 2 days later, we're going to have the sun going into Leo. And then we've got that new moon in Leo on the 24th. So we've got like boom, boom, boom in your seventh house with Mercury retrograde. So project, writing, creative. See, Mercury rules your fifth house, rules the house of Gemini. It's a third house energy where your Saturn is. So writing or creative project or travel or entrepreneurial venture, creative venture. Like if you're retired, it could just be that you travel and you have grandkids, but you join in with your divine mate and or your true person. You get a relationship coming in here very strong, most likely from the past or a project, creative venture with partners and collaboratives of people from the past. Again, same message with that. The fifth house is Leo. So it's kind of like double double there, creative projects. Not to mention potentially pregnancies for many Aquarians. And then we have Chiron in retrograde in that third house where you're going to get tested, whether you have the confidence, whether you believe in yourself enough to take on this project, to go forward. You're going to get triggered in that Chiron retrograde in your third where you're learning how to not think things too much, perhaps, and not be over analytical. And we've got that south node. I forgot about the south node. Whoops, I forgot about the south node. And how did I forget the south node thing? I don't have it down here. The south node and Mars are conjoining in your eighth house. Now, that could be a very challenging time for you this month because it's in your eighth house where you either suddenly have a financial upset, but it triggers you, but you learn to let go and you stop and it releases your grippage, your fear grippage, and you let go and you release, you relax. And then it can be an up buoyancy very quickly for finances. If you lose money, it can return in this energy, but it's so that you let go of a fear because the South Node is trying to help you be more spiritual, and Mars there is going to create experiences that are going to teach you to let go and be more spiritual. So the more you let go and be spiritual, the less impact or the less challenging that's going to be. So again, that's another potential divorce energy where you release co-collaborative ventures or financial obligations with somebody. You could suddenly let go of a debt. It could be extremely positive, and you have a financial gain, some sort of an opportunity comes in, financial outside funding of this project, that you let go of, you don't have to work anymore. You can let go of working and you can just focus on this venture. Or this traveling, if it's travel. I know an Aquarian with Libra and it could be travel. Venus in your fifth rules your ninth. But you're letting go of either entanglement with another person in their finances, or you're letting go of a debt, or you're letting go of an investment opportunity. Like for instance, you're making monthly payments to an investment and it's starting to lose money, so you let it go. Or an investment that you have really takes off with that Uranus and Gemini. We don't know what's going to happen, but it could really up. It's ruled in Mercury. Mercury rules your eighth. Let's pull a card on that. Let's pull a card on your South Node Mars for Aquarius in the eighth house. And then there is that moon in Scorpio that happens to be there while we're talking. So what is that about? What is that about? Let's get to the it's I got Empress, Emperor, and then joint resources. So it could be putting resources together. Let's try again. What is the eighth house? Mars K2 in the eighth. Wow, I got nice cards. We get venture. Maybe we go after finances. Perhaps there's you can go on an adventure, maybe selling that house, whatever beautiful thing happened with Uranus and Venus conjoining, maybe liberated you financially. And by that time you get financial liberation, you can travel and go on adventures or take some sort of, this looks good. Some sort of payment comes through. Look, I keep getting that Knight of Pentacles. Wow. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything here to be worried about with that Mars K2, but that can be challenging. If it hits your chart personally in a difficult way, feel free to contact me. You'll know if some sort of crisis can occur on that. Contact me for a free reading. My email link is below. And looks okay, you guys. I think this is a really beautiful month where you're going to see some really big movement. Even though your ruling planet is in retrograde, it's going to slow things down so that so that you have this reevaluation, um, redemption and reflection around some kind of a media project that you realize you weren't mature enough to handle at the time, or that in retrospect, it's something you do really are serious about, that you do see as your future project that can bring you a lot of abundance, that is involving collaborative people. And it's a creative project, most likely from the past, that you just didn't have a maturity enough for at that time. All right. I hope that is helpful for you and have a wonderful month. Namaste.